Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 VC review. Although to be fair, it's actually 3 reviews stuck in one, because basically today I'm going to be taking a look at the Super Star Wars trilogy. So, Super Star Wars New Hope, Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. The reason I'm doing 3 of them in one is because I've already reviewed all games individually, because I had them on the SNES, I've since got rid of them to get them on the VC, but it basically means if you want in-depth looks, go for the SNES ones. If you just want a quick look at basically, well, to be fair, I say a quick look, it's probably going to be 10 minutes, but a quick look at all 3 games together, then might as well stay here. So, anyway, this is basically A New Hope, and obviously, as stupid as it sounds, they all take place in the movies, so there's going to be some scenes that you don't recognise from the movies because they did have to pad it out a bit, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff you're going to see that you recognise, especially if you're a big Star Wars fan and you've seen more than just the movies. And you've basically got your classic levels like this, where you go side-scrolling and platforming, and you've got like a blaster and stuff. And then there's more advanced levels where you've got lightsabers and force, and then there's flying levels and that. So I will show some of them off, but for now, I'm just sticking with this. The whole point is you basically go left to right, jumping up and down and that. You can collect blaster power-ups to give you more powerful blasters. There's 5 forms of blaster. There's the original that you get, there's then this one which you get, which is just basically a flame blaster. You then get homing missiles, you then get plasma, which allows you, I always call it plasma, but plasma's the 5th one. You then get the 4th one, which I can't remember its official name, but I always class it as plasma, that bounces off the walls. And then you get the one that is actually plasma, which is just basically, well, it's really powerful. It doesn't particularly bounce off the walls or anything, or home or anything like that. It's just very powerful and widespread. You can get thermal detonators and stuff like that, which will obviously just blow up after a certain while, or you can detonate them yourself, and it's just one of those. They come in very handy, but they are very rare. You've then got your lightsaber bar in the top left corner, which is your health, and the lightsaber, basically if you collect other lightsabers, it'll increase it, so there's one there, and collecting hearts will fill up your energy. You can get small hearts and big hearts. Sometimes though, you can also find just a ton of secrets like the hearts, the lightsabers and blasters, just simply by shooting. They'll be invisible, and if you shoot them, then they'll like make themselves known, you can get them. You can also get extra lives that way. You can also do a double jump when you get the ability to use the force and stuff like that, but unfortunately for now I'm stuck doing a single jump, which can make some of the platforming bits a little hard, especially with this when I'm getting detonators thrown at us that's knocking us down all the time. So I suppose what I'm saying is, if you don't like being playing frustrating games, I'd probably avoid this, because there's a hell of a lot of instances where it'll screw you over and you'll just wish you hadn't bothered. But at the same time, it still is a fantastic game, as are the others. There's also other characters you can play as, not just Luke. Basically, they all have their differences. Obviously, Luke at the start's basic and plain and stuff, but by the end of the games, then he's got lightsaber and force powers and stuff, so that's what makes him special. Chewbacca can do that spin, which is really cool. Han can use grenades. Slave Girl Leia basically has a chain whip instead of a blaster and that, and she can do some cool specials, similar, to be fair, to Chewie's spin there. And you've got the meter in the top right corner, which means that you can use the spin or not use the spin and stuff like that, and you've got to let it charge up. But with Han's grenades, you just have to collect them, and you can stockpile ammo and stuff like that. They can also use the blaster power-up, so the same as Luke, but there's pretty much, to be fair, nothing really left to see about the side-scrolling sections like this, so let's show off some of the flying missions, because they're really cool. So this is basically one of the flying missions, and this is one of the instances where, to be fair, it's totally not like the movie at all, because the cloud cars aren't actually enemies, and this has you as Luke in an X-Wing fighter blowing up the innocent cloud cars, so it's one of the things that is totally not in the movies at all. But there are other types of flying missions. There's top-down ones as well, and there's also, as stupid as this sounds, land flying missions. So I'm going to shut up for a bit of the music and then cut into one of those to show you what I mean with. So this is what I mean by land flying missions, because you're in the vehicle and that, and you're hovering around, but you've got to be careful not to actually fall down and die, because there's loads of pits and that. The first time you get a speeder level is actually on the first game, and you've also got to watch out for fuel as well as health, whereas on this one you just have to watch out for health. And sometimes when you're actually supposed to be going somewhere, as you might notice in the top right corner, you've got distance there, so that tells you how far away you are from it. There's also every now and then a timer on the levels, and the timer doesn't actually matter, it's just there for points. You don't die when you run out of time, it's stupid to even have it there. But anyway, that's a bit of those flying missions. On to some Jedi powers. So here we go then, this is when the games get really good, because you've got your lightsaber now, which is just excellent, and the Empire, I think it is, you can actually swap between your lightsaber and your blaster and that as well, which is cool, because sometimes you need the blaster, but to be fair, I pretty much as soon as I get the lightsaber don't use anything other. You've also though got force powers, and they differ between the games. These ones here I'll just show off because they're here. You can like throw your lightsaber, you can use force deflect, so that'll protect you from blasts. You can use freeze to freeze enemies. You can vanish, you can levitate, although to be fair the levitation might be an Empire one. You can heal yourself, so during boss fights that can come in very handy. Yes, the levitation one is actually an Empire, but that's basically your force powers, and that you've got all sorts of cool stuff to do, and you're probably going to be relying on them like mad. But it's also yet another collectible you need, so as well as being on the lookout for fuel collectibles and health collectibles and stuff, and just little rebel symbols which give you extra lives after you get so many of them, you also have to be on the lookout for little green orbs to fill up your force power as well. Well, only got a few things left to see it, and I thought I might as well show this off, because this is what I mean by top down. I know it's not full top down, but it's kind of top down, so I hope I won't get wrong for any confusion or anything. But basically, the other things to mention are there are bosses, and I'll do my best to show one of them off at the very end of the vid. But there's options and stuff which you can do. You can change difficulty and stuff like that, but the options are very basic. The thing that's important though is the passwords. There's only passwords on the second and third game. The first game, Hope, does not have any passwords, any save system at all. You have to beat it in one go, but it's one of those that thankfully the VC save comes in very handy for that. So if you're going to get them, I'd probably recommend getting at least that one on the VC. Well, here we go then, here's a boss. I know I've went for the end boss, but everyone knows what the end boss is going to be, or at least they should do if you've seen the movies. And here's also a little bit of the music, but I'm pretty pressed for time, so there mightn't be much of this. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.